Valley Talk on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
Welcome to Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams. We are so glad that you're with us today on this Monday. Beautiful day here in the Mid-Willamette Valley, and a couple things coming up this week that we want to talk to you about. One of the events we're going to be broadcasting from live with audio and video at KGAL.com, as well as my website, OperationEaglesWings.us. At the Corvallis Airport this week, Wednesday through Friday, there will be the Wings of Victory Tour, Wings of Freedom Tour, I believe. We have on the phone with us right now Hunter Cheney of the Collings Foundation. Hunter, thank you for being with us today on Valley Talk.
Hi, Dave. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
And then later on, the last half hour of the show, Build Lebanon Trails will have an event coming up this Saturday, and we'll be talking to Rod Sell about that event, significant event for that organization as well. So this is what's happening this week, and we're glad you are joining with us on Valley Talk today. So, Hunter, thank you for being with us on the program.
Sure. Yeah, look forward to it.
Now, really excited about, I love aircraft, love World War II vintage aircraft, and there's going to be 3 aircraft of note. There's going to be a P-51 Mustang, which is a very sexy plane. It was actually a fighter aircraft that actually helped turn the tide of the war in Europe and in the Pacific, as the Americans and the Allied forces were dealing with the Luftwaffe Air Force, and then in the Pacific, dealing with the Japanese Zero, which was a very nimble aircraft. The P-51 Mustang actually saved a lot of lives. Yeah. Also the 909, the B-17 Flying Fortress, another well-known World War II aircraft, and then the Liberator, called the Witchcraft, Consolidated B-24 Liberator, will be at the Corvallis Airport. And Hunter, glad to have you here in the Mid-Willamette Valley displaying this aircraft. Talk to us about.
We're looking forward to it.
Talk to us about the tour. What's it called and the purpose of it?
Now, the Wings of Freedom Tour is, we really look at it as a living history event, and that's just what it is. As these planes, first of all, they're very rare. It's a unique opportunity for folks to tour through and even fly in these World War II bomber and fighter aircraft. Basically, the national tour has been in operation for 24 years now, and we fly to, on average, about 110 cities every year. And when we come in, like, say, for instance, to Corvallis on Wednesday, we'll be coming up from the south, so, about 1:30, go outside and look to the southern skies and listen for this low rumble that comes from the Great Blue. And that's this tour, and we're flying in. We're going to land about 1:30 to 2 o'clock on Wednesday at the Corvallis Municipal Airport, and we'll be there up until about midday on Friday. And here, basically, we open the planes up. People can come tour through the aircraft. It's like walking into a time machine. These planes are restored to their original configurations from 1945, and it's really kind of an unusual experience because there's nothing particularly comfortable about the planes, Dave. I mean, this is the real thing, and it's a rare opportunity to really be able to touch these aircraft, experience them, and hopefully, the most important thing, which we really try and emphasize, is that we often get local World War II vets out there, and they share their experiences with the general public while touring through the aircraft, and that's what the tour is all about, and that's what makes such a lasting impression on folks. And aside from the tours, the flying experience is downright amazing. It's just fantastic. And, basically we offer half-hour flights in a bomber aircraft. Those are $425. And we offer flight training in the Mustang, which is, as you know, and most folks might know, is that, Mustangs during World War II, first fighter aircraft that could really follow these bombers all the way to a target and back. And this is a rare C model Mustang. A lot of people might recognize it as a Razorback configuration. And this is the only C model in the world that has a full dual cockpit. So when folks flying this aircraft, it kind of follows that same philosophy we have with the living history experience. And here, people actually have the opportunity to fly the plane. They get pilot instruction. Pilots, non-pilots alike, it doesn't matter. And you just don't have an opportunity to be able to fly. I mean, it is a Cadillac of fighters, and quite a bit more expensive. Of course, the flying in the Mustang, a half hour is $2,200, and a full hour is $3,200. And as you can imagine, we have a couple nicknames for the plane. You know, we call it the marital argument or the second retirement, you know. But it is just neat. And so when folks come out and tour through the aircraft or flying them, it really is, in essence, each individual that helps the operational expense, helps, you know, pay for the flying.
And that's very important because it's expensive to keep these planes flying.
Yeah, and you know, the challenge that we all face is how are we going to remember World War II history? And that's one of the things that the Collings Foundation is an educational foundation. We looked at this and tried, you know, I mean, really, how are we going to remember these guys when they're gone? Because really, it's going to be a matter of just a couple years, and being able to actually know a World War II veteran will be a rare occurrence, one that's, you know, that's still with us. So when it comes to World War II history, it's such an important part of world history that's worth remembering. And that's why programs like this make such a lasting impression on people. And it's one thing that if you read about World War II history in a classroom setting, that you might remember something, you know, that you read. But here it's a real interaction with history. And two things happen, of course, when folks come out. First, it's you know, people have a much greater appreciation of what it must have been like to be all of 18 to 20 years old flying these planes over the Pacific or Europe. And also, it's exciting, you know. And when it comes to younger generations, when they come out and see these planes or maybe go for a flight, it's exciting. And what we hope is that people will want to learn more about World War II history. And you know the saying, Dave, that if we forget our history in one way or another, we're condemned to repeat it. And there's so many awful things that happened during World War II, and these planes act as an excellent vehicle to engage people in history. It's a rare opportunity, and that's how basically we've been able to do it for 24 years now, is touring the aircraft like this. And it allows us to bring a living history program to communities that might not otherwise have an opportunity to see something like this.
And thank you for doing that. By the way, we do want to mention that if you just want to stop by the airport or the Corvallis airport and just look at the aircraft, that's free, correct?
Well, yeah, you can. I think you can see them from the gate area. As far as the walkthrough tours, I mean, to get out on the ramp where we have the plane secured, it's $12 for adults and $6 for the kiddos 12 years and younger. No charge, of course, for World War II vets. They want to come out and tour through the aircraft. It is possible that you might be able to catch a glimpse of them from the main ramp area, you know, if you want to come out and take a peek. We would hope that, you know, folks would make a small contribution to come tour through the aircraft, because again, it's a rarity to be able to crawl through an aircraft like this. And in certain areas, you are actually crawling.
Yes, you are. The thing that's exciting to me about these aircraft is these are not replica. These are the actual aircraft that flew in World War II. And let's talk about the B-24 Liberator. Now, the name on the Liberator is called Witchcraft.
Right.
This actual airplane is taking the name of the Witchcraft. Explain, let's talk about the history first of the Liberator, where this plane was used, and then how it took on the name of Witchcraft.
The consolidated B-24 Liberators, and this is kind of a fascinating little piece of information that the Liberators were the most mass-produced multi-engine aircraft in American history. I really look at it as kind of the icon of industrial might, American industrial might during World War II. At the height of production, out at plants like in Willow Run, Michigan, and Texas and California, Consolidated basically took a bunch of Ford manufacturing plants and turned them over to produce these planes. And at the height of production, they were able to make one flying aircraft every hour. And it's just staggering to think of all the planes that were coming out of these factories. And amazingly, this is the last B-24J Liberator flying in the world. This particular B-24, after being manufactured, was shipped off to England to Pacific Theater and flew with the Royal Air Force. So it flew all the way up the Pacific Theater doing missions, bombing missions, and covert supply drops. So this plane was used to literally skim the waves and come up over these small islands and drop supplies to Allied forces. And it did this all the way up to the China, India, and Burma theaters. And at the end of the war, like most of the planes during World War II, once the war ended, of course, the British said, "Right, chaps, it's done. Let's go home. Leave the plane there. We don't need it anymore." And so it was in calling them an aircraft boneyard for about 4 to 5 years, and then the newly formed Indian Air Force picked it up and scrapped some pieces from other aircraft together. And they used this plane for over 20 years as a training aircraft and as a supply aircraft to move supplies. And then it was abandoned again, and a British collector picked it up, and that's where we came in. Our original intention with this aircraft was to restore it just to static display, but there was such a interest from all of our World War II veterans, particularly B-24 veterans.
I can imagine. Let's make it fly again.
Oh, yeah. And so that's what really motivated us to invest in restoring the aircraft. And it took over 97,000 hours to restore this aircraft to flying condition. And it went through several paint schemes through the course of its history with the Foundation. And its most current paint scheme is in honor of, you had mentioned the original Witchcraft, which was there was a B-24 during World War II called Witchcraft that flew a staggering 130 missions without abort or loss to crew. And I mean, it's just legend, Dave. You never have single aircraft that survive something like that. I mean, it's important to keep in mind that your chances of survival flying a mission in a bomber at the beginning of the war was about 1 in 3 for each mission. And to have an aircraft like this, I mean, that's why we painted it in honor of the original one, which is it's something that we're honoring the original crew in aircraft, and also we're engaging people in wanting to learn more about the B-24s during World War II.
Now we're talking to Hunter Cheney of the Collings Foundation. These aircraft, the Liberator, the B-17 Flying Fortress, and a P-51 Mustang, will be on display, and they're also going to be taking some flights from the Corvallis airport. Do you still have some flights available for people that want to pony up and want to get in the seats and take a ride? Do you still have some seats open?
Yeah, we do. And basically, what we look for when we do our flights in the bombers, we need a minimum of 6 people, and we take a maximum crew of 10. And our flight times, when we offer the bomber flights, when we come in on Wednesday, we'll fly at around 5 o'clock, and then Thursday, which is our full day there, we'll fly at either 8:30 or again at 5. And then on Friday, we'll fly first thing in the morning, about 8:30, before packing up around 12 noon to head off up to Everett, Washington. And, the flights are $425, and $350 of that is a tax-deductible donation.
One thing you should remember, and when you fly these airplanes, when you tour them, is you are walking and you're actually touching a piece of history. The aircraft that you're in, actually, it's not a replica. This plane was in the theater operation, and the enemy was shooting at it. It went on bombing runs. All three of them were. So it's amazing to me that it's like going back in time. And it's an opportunity that you want to take advantage of and you don't want to miss. When we come back, we're going to talk about the B-17 Flying Fortress and the P-51 Mustang. And we'll also mention that KGAL will be there at the airport Thursday morning as part of the morning show. We're going to be doing some live reports there. We're actually going to be streaming a video show on KGAL.com and OperationEaglesWings.us. So you can go to those two websites and you can actually see video live from the airport on what's going on. You don't want to miss this opportunity to go to the airport and check out these planes, check out the Collings Foundation, take your kids so they can actually touch a piece of history, living history from World War II. More on Valley Talk in just a moment with Hunter Cheney of the Collings Foundation. In just a moment, we'll be right back.
Pandora Jewelry presents Martina McBride.
Baby, I love you.
Monday, September 2nd at the Oregon State Fair's LBJ Comcast Amphitheater. Feel the incomparable passion and warmth.
When you're weak, I'll be strong. When you let go, I'll hold on.
An incredible night live with Grammy winner Martina McBride, 7-time female vocalist of the year, as only Martina McBride can deliver. Tickets on sale now. Buy tickets online at OregonStateFair.org or charge by phone at 877-840-0457. Martina McBride.
With a broken wing, she carries her dream.
Play lottery games at the Oregon State Fair. Adults 21 and over can visit the Game Zone in Cascade Hall and play Scratch-It, Keno, and all our jackpot games. Demo new video lottery games for fun. You'll even have a chance to win prizes. Lottery games at the Oregon State Fair, where Oregon comes together. See you there.
Albany residents, your summer 2013 Activate Parks and Recreation Guide came in the mail recently. If you didn't get one or you don't live in Albany, stop by City Hall and pick one up. Wonderful activities for children and youth, adults and older adults. Sports, music, excursions, crafts, exercise, cooking, languages. It's a book full of fun. Many classes and activities start in June or July, so register soon. Your book of fun is your summer activity guide from Albany Parks and Recreation.
Well, I like to see what the farmers brought from the fields around to the market lot. Seems every week it's a different crop down at the farmers market. Down at the farmers market, the best berries and cherries you've ever seen. Sweet corn, tomatoes, peaches and beans, and cider and pumpkins for Halloween. Down at the farmers market. Down at the farmers market.
The Corvallis Albany Farmers Markets are now open Saturday in the City Hall parking lot at 4th and Ellsworth in downtown Albany, and every Wednesday and Saturday on the north end of the riverfront in downtown Corvallis. Enjoy live music and a large variety of locally grown farm products. For more information, log on to locallygrown.org.
At the farmers market, friends and neighbors gather round. At the farmers market, see what can be found. There's fruit from the orchards and produce from the ground. And you can meet the folks who grew it when the farmers come to town.
See you there. More Ink Printing in Albany. The same people and the same passion for printing and serving you.
I'm Mike from More Ink. At More Ink, we can make your presentations pop, your business cards connect, and your brochures become bold. Letterheads, manuals, menus, flyers, event posters, and programs. We do it all at More Ink.
Mike and his crew at More Ink are still around to get your custom projects noticed. More Ink on Sandy M Road in the Carriage House Plaza in Albany. Visit moreincalbany.com.
Call 541-928-2675 for More Ink.
Less hype, just quality news, sports, and smart talk. From your friends at 1580 KGAL.
And this is Valley Talk. We are talking to Hunter Cheney of the Collings Foundation. The Wings of Freedom Tour will be flying into the Corvallis Airport this Wednesday, and they will be there Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You don't want to miss it. Let's talk about two of the aircraft that are going to be there. We've already talked about the B-24 Liberator. Love the name of the Liberator. It was the most mass-produced big bomber in history, and they were making one of these an hour. That's just amazing to me. This is a huge airplane. Let's talk about the B-17 Flying Fortress, which is a plane that legends are made of as well. Talk to us about the B-17 that's going to be at Corvallis.
Yeah, for those of you who are not familiar with this aircraft, it was, I look at it as kind of the media darling of World War II aircraft. In a lot of old films like 12 O'Clock High and Memphis Belle, the B-17 was featured in these films. And it is probably the most recognizable of the heavy bombers of World War II. This B-17 we have is one of 8 in flying condition in the United States. And during the war, it was manufactured a little bit late in the war, never went to Europe to fly combat bombing missions. Instead, they changed it into a sea rescue aircraft. So they would strap a dinghy underneath the aircraft, and it would fly around the Pacific looking for downed crew members or people in distress. And when at that point, after the war, it was scuttled more or less, like all the aircraft, and a civilian company picked it up and flew it as a fire bomber for about 25 years. So it flew all over Oregon and Washington and Colorado fighting forest fires. When we received the aircraft, we restored it back to its original G model configuration. And again, like the B-24, which we named in honor of an original legendary plane, the same thing for the B-17. B-17 is called 909, and the original 909 flew 140 missions without abort or loss of life. And it's just a fantastic aircraft, and it's a very distinct sound to the radial engines. And amazingly, the pilot we have that flies this aircraft, Mac McCauley, he has the most hours spent flying this type of aircraft in the history of aviation.
That's amazing.
B-17s have been around. He has thousands and thousands of hours spent piloting this aircraft, and it's really just a beautiful plane. And like all of the aircraft, it's when you're inside, you look around, all the radio equipment, navigation equipment, the Norden bomb sight, all the guns and everything that you see is its original 1945 configuration.
Let's talk about the B-51 Mustang.
Yeah, the Cadillac.
Oh, yeah.
The Cadillac of fighters. And, the P-51 is arguably the finest designed fighter aircraft in the history of aviation. And there's a reason that so many people are fascinated with this plane. It's first of all, it's the first aircraft that could fly long ranges. And you can imagine that being a bomber crew member and seeing these planes flying escort, these young men knew that they were protected from attacking fighters. And so these Mustangs saved thousands and thousands of lives. They saved these crews from being attacked by German or Japanese fighters. And it's got a Packard-built Merlin engine in it, and it's a C model Mustang. There's a couple different variations of Mustangs. There's A's, C's, and D's, at least during World War II. This is the only one that has a full dual cockpit. I mean, literally, what you see in the back is the same thing that you see in front. And when when the plane comes in, for folks that have the financial wherewithal to be able to fly with us, you have the opportunity to actually fly the aircraft. And we start out with a cockpit orientation and strap you into the rear position, and we'll head out into a secure area, and the pilot will do a couple maneuvers, and then at that point, our pilot will step you through a flight course. So you're actually flying this fighter. It's like a very fast Cadillac, and it just is a joy to fly. It's like kind of like an extension of one's own mind. You know, it really envelops you, and it's just you look out the window, and it's amazing just how fast the plane will go. It's really quite a hot rod, and that's how it did perform so well during World War II. Is that it was really a nimble aircraft and very effective.
It saved thousands of lives. See, what people may not realize is that, especially in the Europe theater of operation, the Luftwaffe Air Force would stay just beyond the range of the then fighter escort aircraft. And so when the fighters from the Allied forces had to turn back, that's when the German Air Force and the Italian Air Force, namely the German Air Force, would swoop down on the bombers, and they were literally sitting ducks. And so all of a sudden, when the P-51, which was an extremely nimble and fast aircraft, and some of the Messerschmitt aircraft in the Europe theater and the Japanese Zero in the Pacific theater, those were very, very reputable and very good performing aircraft. And we really didn't have anything that could compete with them. And when the P-51 Mustang came on site, all of a sudden there was a dog in the fight, so to speak, that could definitely come up to their standards and actually win. And actually, I believe, was instrumental in helping being one of the main reasons why we won the war.
Yeah, it really is. And our outcome would have been entirely different had it not be for the Mustang. And that's why it's such an iconic plane. And you never see them. I mean, there's only a couple of them out there that have two seats in them. Very few actually have controls in the back, and this has all of it in the back. And the plane's just really a pretty aircraft too. It's all silver. This had a short stay during World War II. Although our records aren't as thorough as the bomber aircraft, it's believed that on its maiden mission it was ground looped, meaning that the aircraft kind of spun out. And like a lot of the planes during the war, if something went wrong, they'd basically just push it off to the side and find a new plane. And that's what happened with this particular P-51. And then when it came back stateside, it went through several different kinds of restorations, and back in early 2000 is when that dual cockpit was put in. It's gorgeous. It's just a looker. It really is. And this, again, hopefully we'll be doing a couple flights with the Mustang through the stay.
Are there seats available?
Fun to watch.
Are there seats available? Excuse me for interrupting, but people that want to fly the P-51, do you still have some slots open?
Yeah, we do. We have some space here and there. Unlike the bombers, where we do the flights, before and after the walkthrough tours, Mustang's available to fly through the day. And typically, like our stay in Corvallis, I know we'll be flying at least a couple times a day. And so for folks that don't have the donation that they can make to fly in the plane, at least know that we'll be flying it a couple times through the day and people can see it. Usually we do a flyby or two during the operation.
So let's recap the tour times again. You'll be flying into the Corvallis airport when, and then go through the tour dates and times.
Yeah, so we're flying in. We're going to land somewhere between 1:30 and 2 o'clock this Wednesday, Corvallis Municipal Airport, and we'll have the tour times that people can come tour through the bomber aircraft and see the fighter. 2 to 5 on this Wednesday the 12th, 9 to 5 on Thursday the 13th, and 9 until noon on Friday the 14th.
And your website for more information?
Yeah, for folks that want more information on the foundation or have questions or want to see some of the other aircraft that are part of the foundation, our website is www.cfdn.org. It's Charlie Foxtrot Delta November.org. Or always welcome to give us a call. Foundation is based out in Massachusetts, where I'm calling from now, and our 800 phone number is 800-568-8924.
Hunter, are you going to be available tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
Most definitely.
If we can talk to you again on Valley Talk again tomorrow, we'll talk a little bit more about Collings Foundation and just a little bit more about what people can expect, so we can let everybody know that this is coming and this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We definitely want World War II veterans. And is it all veterans that will be allowed to see the aircraft free?
Well, because
World War II?
This tour is specific to honoring our World War II vets, we extend that courtesy to our World War II veterans.
Understand.
As you can imagine, we'd love to be able to offer that all across the board, but in this case, it's for our World War II guys.
And these are expensive aircraft to maintain, so...
Yeah, that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize, that the operational costs of these bombers is somewhere in the range of about $4,200 to $4,500 per hour.
It's not like driving your Volkswagen Bug down the street. These aircraft take a lot of maintenance, a lot of tender loving care, because they're old aircraft and they need maintained, especially in the state in which they're maintained. And it takes a lot of money. Thank you for doing everything you do, Hunter. We're looking forward to talking to you again tomorrow, a little bit more about the Collings Foundation, the trip to Corvallis, and also looking forward to bringing some live reports from the Corvallis airport. We'll be there Thursday morning, but you're going to be there Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and do invite people to come on out and touch a piece of history.
Yeah, you got it.
So we'll catch you tomorrow morning, Hunter.
Sounds good. Dave, look forward to it, and hopefully we'll be seeing lots of folks soon.
There we go. Thank you. Talk to you tomorrow.
All right, thanks.
Okay, bye-bye. This is KGAL's Valley Talk, and we're going to be talking to Rod Sell. Rod, if you're listening, hang on. We'll be calling you here in just a moment about Build Lebanon Trails and about an event they have coming up this Saturday. This is Valley Talk, and we, my friend, will be right back.
The Osgood File is sponsored in part by Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit AutoOwners.com. This is Charles Osgood. Doctors in Israel have come up with a device that can detect the early signs of a stroke coming on. If you're at high risk of a stroke, you could wear this $200 portable device on your head. It monitors brain waves and uses an algorithm to detect any discrepancy in those waves, well before any other more dramatic symptoms appear. Professor Nathan Bornstein, Vice President of the World Stroke Organization, says it can be a lifesaver.
This is a very innovative device to prevent stroke and to identify the signs and symptoms and signals of disturbances in blood flow to the brain, which in this case we can act immediately.
The story after this. Why turn to a trusted choice agency for your insurance needs? Because a trusted choice insurance agency is an independent advocate that works for your interests, not for any one company. That allows them to find the coverage, the company, and the price to fit your needs. They pledge to treat you as a person, not a policy. When you're looking for a trusted friend in the industry for home, auto, life, or business insurance, turn to Trusted Choice. Visit trustedchoice.com today.
Membership helps Strictly Bicycles keep business tuned.
Building a bike is like building a small business. With a bike, it's about weight, and a business, it's cutting costs.
The Plum Card from American Express Open offers an early pay discount or extra time to pay your bill with no interest.
It helps with my cash flow and lets me reinvest so I can put my money to work.
Find out more at open.com.
I'm Nelson Gutierrez, and I'm a member of Making My Money Work as Hard as I Do.
This is what membership is. This is what membership does.
Terms and conditions apply.
The first signs of an imminent stroke aren't always detectable. That's where this new inexpensive device comes in. It was developed by an Israeli startup company called NeuroKeeper. CEO Shebar Haim says it's designed for use in hospitals or even at home.
Our device detects automatically a stroke event and alerts either in the home environment, the patient himself or his family, or in the hospital environment, the medical staff, of a potential ischemic attack, and allows the patients to get to the hospital early and get treated early.
If not treated quickly, survivors often have to undergo years of therapy to regain brain function that's lost in a stroke. Professor Bornstein.
In very high-risk subgroup of patients, it will be a breakthrough device that may help us, the physician, as well as the patient, of course, to identify all these unnecessary events.
The Osgood File. I'll see you online at Facebook, Twitter, and at theosgoodfile.com. This is Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
Book lovers, you can support summer reading for kids and pick up some summer reading for yourself at bargain prices. The Friends of the Albany Public Library Summer Book Sale is coming up this Friday and Saturday at the Albany Public Library Meeting Room. Hardback fiction, mystery, and children's books, plus hundreds of paperbacks. And the price? All the books only 50 cents to $2. Load up with bargains and help out the Children's Summer Reading Program at the Friends of the Albany Public Library Summer Book Sale this Friday and Saturday.
Hi folks, Jay Farner here, president of Quicken Loans. We're thrilled to have helped over 125,000 homeowners save money by refinancing with HARP. But there are millions more of you who could be saving big money on your home loans by getting HARPed. With HARP, you may be able to refinance with Quicken Loans even if your home has lost value. For example, if you owe $300,000 on your mortgage, but your home's only worth $150,000, Quicken Loans may still be able to help you get HARPed and start saving. Or if your current mortgage is higher than 3.99%, give us a call today at 800-QUICKEN. And for 3 years in a row now, J.D. Power & Associates has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Once again, if your current mortgage is higher than 3.99%, or if you owe more than your home is worth, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com.
For J.D. Power & Associates award information, visit jdpower.com. Important terms and conditions apply. Call us for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Clarity over agreement. Expected from Dennis Prager, weekday mornings at 9 on Smart Talk 1580.
And welcome to Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams. Tell you what, if aircraft isn't your thing and you like to hike, you like to go out and enjoy the beautiful outdoors that is prevalent here in the Mid-Willamette Valley, have we got the deal for you. Build Lebanon Trails is going to be having an event this Saturday, and on the telephone with us is Rod Sell of VLT. Rod, how you doing today?
Great, Dave. How about yourself?
Doing great. Now, you've got a big event coming up this Saturday. Tell us what Build Lebanon Trails is going on. I understand this is a huge event for you.
Yeah, it's a really exciting event for us, too, because we're just opening up a proposed trail segment that's going to tie the entire north end of Lebanon together. We call it the Canal Trail Project, and almost all of the trail runs along right along the scenic St. Anne Albany Canal. And once completed, you can start at the hospital or the medical campus, and you can do a 3-mile loop that takes you out to the South St. Anne River.
So is this part of the trail system important because it links everything together, or just what you can see on this particular walk?
Well, both. Actually, it is a really scenic site, but this is really our first major connection where we've had a lot of trail segments where I'm putting them all together into one continuous trail that's going to run all the way from the east city limits to the west city limits. So it's pretty substantial. I think it's about 22,000 feet long, just in one direction, and there's a loop at the end. And we're talking all pavement, so it's a fully ADA accessible trail. There's no steps or any inclines that you have to go up. So even people in mobility carts can use it. And it's really for everybody.
Let's talk about the event this Saturday. What are you wanting people to do?
Well, we want them to come out and experience where the trail's going to go. We'll be starting at right by the hospital, and there's plenty of places to park there. There's a demonstration trail that we put in last year that's a very small piece of it, just a few hundred feet, so you really get an idea of what the finished trail is going to look like. And then we take you on the proposed trail, which is be grass along the canal. So, and we walk on fairly uneven terrain, but it's flat, and walk all the way to the other end and to the stop at the new Mark Slough Trail section that we've just got paved this year.
Is it a fundraiser? Are you asking people to donate? Obviously, we'd like them to donate ongoing, but is this a donation walk where per mile, or is this just come on down and see what we have?
Come down and see what we have. We always have a donation jar there, but we'd love to be able to get people's names and addresses and contact them and meet with them, give them the whole scope of what we're doing, and give them an idea of what our program is for donations on this project. We've actually come up with a substantial amount of funds, and so we're just trying to raise the remaining amount of the funds to be able to build the trail, maybe as early as September of this year.
If people want to bring a shovel and actually move some dirt, is there going to be any opportunities to do that this Saturday, or is it just a walking event?
Just walking today, but we will have work days out on the trails. Our next trail development day is actually October the 12th, and we don't have a site set for that, but there's a good chance that it's going to end up being out here at this canal trail project.
Let's talk about Build Lebanon Trails as an organization. What's your mission? How long have you been doing this?
Well, we've been doing it since 2005, and we have this long mission statement where we also have a slogan, and it's connecting our community. So what our goals are is to help the city fulfill their strategic trails plan that includes over 50 miles of paved and over 20 miles of soft surface trails, all within the urban growth boundary of the city of Lebanon. So we've been working, we try to take one trail segment at a time per year, but we've been doing a lot better than that. We've been doing 2 and 3 trail segments a year, and we have several successes even in 2013 where we're adding several trails.
How can people get involved?
There's a lot of easy ways to get involved. We actually have a public meeting that's a set public meeting on the first Tuesday of every month. That is at the Lebanon Hospital in the meeting rooms at the back of the hospital, and they're always well marked with a sign to direct you to which one. And that's from 7 until 8:30 p.m. on the first Tuesday of every month. And then the second Saturday of every month we have an event. And all those events are posted on Facebook, our Build Lebanon Trails Facebook, but also on buildlebanontrails.com or our webpage. So it really tells you where we're going to be and what we're going to be doing next. The Trails Committee, it's called the Lebanon Trails Committee, that's the one that meets on Tuesday nights. Everybody that shows up there has an equal say on the planning that happens in that meeting. There's a board of directors that sets the main goals in a meeting prior to that. But if somebody wants to get involved, we have everybody directly involved with the day-to-day decisions for the Lebanon Trails Committee.
How do you interface with the Cheetah Lake Park? Is that part of BLT? Do they have their own Cheetah Lake Foundation? Explain that for folks who might wonder what's going on there.
Well, there's a lot of partnerships that are happening in Lebanon, and we're really excited about how they're growing and have been growing over the years. The Cheetah Lake Park itself is owned by 2 different parties. One very large chunk, including the lake and everything that's on the north side, is owned by the city of Lebanon, and of course we're a 501c3 nonprofit that helps them develop their plan. And then on the south side is the Lebanon Community Foundation owns that a very large acreage, and that's where they put on the Strawberry Festival and just many events, and we have common goals in that they're a nonprofit, and what they're trying to do is develop that site that'll eventually be a public facility and could be donated to the city once it's developed.
We're talking to Rod Sell of Build Lebanon Trails. Again, they're having an event this Saturday. More with Rod and BLT in just a moment on Valley Talk as we continue.
Going out to lunch at a nice restaurant can be expensive, and the big portions put you more in the mood for a nap than a productive afternoon. Mama's Fine Italian to the rescue. The small appetite senior menu is just right. Anyone and everyone is invited to order from the Light Appetites menu for lunch from 11 to 4 p.m. with tasty entrees beginning at only $4.95. Why go hungry or go anywhere else for lunch? Eat healthy, eat light at Mama's. Closed Sunday and Monday, so make the most of Tuesday through Friday and join your friends at Mama's for lunch. Dinner only on Saturday. Mama's features charbroiled steaks every day. Make reservations for dinner or pick up a bottle of fine wine. Seating is limited, so please call for reservations. 541-451-5050. That's 451-5050. Mama's Fine Italian and Wine Shop on West Oak between Main and 2nd in Lebanon, across from the big blue Napa Auto Parts building.
It happens all the time. It's a beautiful summer day, that time of year when you spend a lot of time outside the house, when you and your guests notice that the house needs a fresh coat of paint. Don't wait until the outdoor season is well underway. Call Halcyon Painting now. The professionals at Halcyon Painting are in great demand from May through September, which is the prime outdoor painting season. And early booking will ensure that your paint job will be scheduled this summer. Why not call right now for your non-obligation proposal? Halcyon Painting will give you a complete description of all work to be done in writing, together with a firm price. Don't wait until you have to settle for just anyone to paint your home or business. Call Halcyon Painting at 752-7251. Mention this ad after accepting the bid and get $50 off the job. With Halcyon Painting, every job carries a written warranty. Beat the rush. Call now. 752-7251. Halcyon Painting.
Celebrate Japan at the 16th Annual World Beat Festival on June 29th and 30th at Riverfront Park in Salem. World Beat 2013 will feature a non-stop program of international music and dance with special guests from Japan. Experience everything from Japanese cooking lessons to Rakugo Japanese comedy to a kimono fashion show. Headline band Gary Small and the Coyote Brothers will perform Saturday evening, leading into the grand finale with Portland Taiko, Earth and Essence Fire Dancers from Eugene. Recently named Best Performing Arts Festival, this year's World Beat features non-stop fun for all ages. Feast on the ethnic food and shop for clothing and gifts from distant lands. Join the celebration Saturday from the Small World Parade kickoff to the Lion Dances of Tako Fuji Dance Company. On Sunday, cheer on the World Beat Dragon Boat Races. Feel the heartbeat of the world at Salem's Riverfront Park on June 29th and 30th. For more information, visit worldbeatfestival.org. World Beat is sponsored by Willamette University, Yamasa Corporation, Statesman Journal, and KGAL K-Show Radio.
Want to really know more? Just point, click, and learn from the Mid-Valley's best website, KGAL.com.
Welcome back to Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams. On the phone with us is Rod Sell, Build Limited Trails, and they're having an event, a hike, and you're invited to participate in that. That's this Saturday. And Rod, tell us once again where it's at, what time it starts, and what we want people to do.
Actually, this hike is replacing another hike that we're going to hike, so it's been canceled. I want to make sure to tell you that. So the Peterson's Butte hike won't be happening this year because of fire danger. This is the hike we're going to be doing, and it's the Canal Trail Project hike. It's this Saturday at 10 a.m., and we meet at the south of the Lebanon Hospital in the parking lot, and we'll be hiking about 3 miles on a proposed trail that we're putting together, and hopefully have construction started in September.
Now, you're taking pledges for the Canal Trail Project. How does that work?
We are taking pledges, and there's several ways to do it. The easiest way is to probably get on Facebook or Build Lebanon Trails and go to the Contact Us, and that comes directly to me. And just request me to give you a call and meet with you, and I can explain everything that you need to know and what all the options are for fundraising. We've been doing pretty good so far. We just got started, and we're about a third of the way there to getting this project funded.
One thing. Go ahead.
One thing I want to share, that Build Lebanon Trails is a nonprofit, but unlike many nonprofits, we don't have any paid staff. So 100% of everything that we raise and any donation that we receive goes directly into the development, promotion, and construction and maintenance of the trail system. So our overhead is extremely small, no office space or anything like that. So it really is a great place to donate.
Tell us about some of your successes, your completed projects.
Oh, we've got some great successes in 2013. We're trying to beautify the Cheetah Lake area along the trail system, and we've been able to put in 70 new trees, which is a huge amount of trees, with the help of many community sponsors. And John Digis Landscaping, for one, provided the equipment and the expertise to help us do that. We're putting 2 new gravel trail sections in at Cheetah Lake there's peninsulas out there, and that's going to happen yet in the summer of 2013. Those are going to really extend that trail system out there several thousand feet. We also have received a grant from the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife to improve the access to an ADA fishing platform that's on the north end of Cheetah Lake. That includes about 400 foot of trail and some paving so that they can have a hard surface paving for people with disabilities, with mobility issues. So that's really a big improvement there. But also, we applied to the Oregon State Parks to help us pave the trail that starts at the parking lot and goes all the way into the lake. It's a 2,400 foot trail that connects to another paved trail. So we're going to be able to pave that this year. So we're going to have about a mile's worth of paved trail, including a paved parking lot before the end of this year. So that's great stuff that's happening in 2013 and 2012. Just a quick overview. We put in a new paved trail section, went from the Lebanon Hospital to Industrial Way. And we're able to get a grant for 4,000 foot of gravel trail that extends the Cheetah Lake North Shore Trail all the way to the south city limits to Wyrick Drive. That's installed. Along with that, we had some Eagle Scouts that came forward and they wanted to put in information trail kiosks at the trailheads at Cheetah Lake, and they've done that. And then we have a program now where we're marking all of our trails. So every quarter mile, you'll see a trail marker, and those trail markers were installed at Cheetah Lake. The great thing about those is those have GPS positions that are inputted into the police and fire department's maps. So if we ever need to say, we need some assistance out here, we'll know exactly where to go. So those are some of the highlights.
One of the things that you were mentioning earlier in the interview was you have a number of alliances, partnerships with groups in the Lebanon area. And we're seeing a huge expansion of the health complex there at the hospital and the Comp Northwest and so on and so forth. And it just is hand in glove for walking trails, which is healthy lifestyle, to combine with the hospital community and the medical community out there. I'm sure there's been some partnerships forged there.
Yeah, both the medical college and the Sam Health have been wonderful supporters for the vision, and they can see this happening. That's one thing about this canal trail project that ties the whole north end together. But we're also, Build Lebanon Trails is also working on a project that's going to tie all the way from the north to the south city limits together, and we're hoping to have something come together with that in the next year. Really looking positive, and we're excited. So when that happens, you're going to be able to start on the south end of town and go on a continuous hard surface trail halfway around the community, all the way up to the northwest corner. So that's a major step for the trail system.
Rod, why do you get up in the morning? What pushes your button and makes you want to stay engaged with this organization, Build Lebanon Trails?
Build Lebanon Trails is a fun group to be with. We just provided volunteers for the San Am Spokes bicycle ride, a 100-mile ride that they had on Saturday. And the biggest thing that everybody was impressed with was all those volunteers having so much fun. And so it's just, it's really a tight community. It's coming together, and the thing about Build Lebanon Trails is all of our meetings are fun. Everything we do is fun, and that's the right place to be connected, I think, when you can go somewhere and know that your time is really valuable, but also that you're enjoying every minute of it.
What's your website again?
It's buildlebanontrails.com.
Rod Sell, thank you for being with us. Thank you for all you and your group do to make Lebanon a healthy place and a beautiful place to walk around.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll be talking later. And this is Valley Talk again. Don't forget the show coming up tomorrow. Once again, we'll be talking to the Collings Foundation about the Wings of Freedom Tour coming to Corvallis. Also, John Gibson, our average investment guy, will be here. And I think he might have a surprise for us as well. That's coming up tomorrow on Valley Talk. Listen for the promos. I'm Dave Adams. Make it a great day. Enjoy the week. And talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Around the clock, around the world. Your first choice for information is News Talk 1580, KGAL, Lebanon, Albany, Corvallis.